There's been a lot of criticism lately about Alberta separatists. And I concede, I'm not a big fan of separation, but I do understand the separatist movement and how people got into it. Alberta doesn't get, and this is going to sound really whiny to an awful lot of people, but Alberta doesn't get the respect it deserves. It's by far the biggest financial contributor to Confederation, by far. Bigger than BC, bigger than Ontario. Quebec is the biggest consumer. So it doesn't go up there very high on the list either. And Alberta just does not feel understood or appreciated most of the time. I admit, wrong move for the Alberta separatist group, the Alberta Prosperity Project, to have made overtures to the Trump government. But I do think that an awful lot of people in the APP think Trump is a great leader. They like what he does. They think he has it on the right track, despite the fact that the man is a goof and he's decidedly anti-Canada. Decided. I mean, I can't understand why, of all the countries in the world, he would pick their closest ally to bash and smear and speak rudely about. So I think it's a really bad move for Alberta separatists to have gone towards Trump. Indeed, the other day, Jean Chrétien and Stephen Harper were on the same panel at the Royal Canadian Geographic Society, and they said, we need to come together as a country to fight Trump. And that's absolutely true. If we start to break up, if we start to show any disunity, he'll just pounce on that. The Alberta separatists said they had contact with senior members of the Trump administration who were prepared to extend to them diplomatic recognition if Alberta became a separate nation. They might even happily accept Alberta as the 51st state. I don't want to be the 51st state. I'd rather be one of 10 provinces than one of 51 states, to be quite frankly. And there have been lots of business leaders who have said, well, this would crater the economy. It's not going to do great things for the economy. In time, I do think Alberta would be better off not having to make billions upon billions upon billions of dollars of contributions to things like the equalization scheme, which really is a bit of a scam. I don't mind sending money to Atlantic Canada, a little bit of money every year to help them balance their budgets. But Quebec gets half of the equalization payments, and Quebec is now at about 92% of the national average for income. Back when the equalization payments started, you had to be at 70%, 75% in order to get payments. But that formula has been changed over and over and over again to satisfy Quebec. And the money comes disproportionately from Alberta. There are only 4 half provinces, BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Ontario. And of the 4 of them, Alberta contributes by far the most money. So I understand where the separatists are coming from. And Alberta is constantly sneered at, looked down at. Oh, you aren't good members of Confederation. You aren't good Canadians. That's like kids in university telling their parents who are paying all the bills, oh, you don't understand. You're not cultured enough. You aren't clever enough. Yeah, we are. We know full well how to make money, how to participate in Confederation, and how to do all of the critical things that need to be done, which is why separatists in Alberta feel it wouldn't be much of a jump for them to start their own country. I don't like the idea, but I do understand where they're coming from. And until the rest of the country, David Eby, who is the premier of BC, called Alberta separatists traitors. Doug Ford, the premier of Ontario, said, "Oh, you know, it's traitorous to think about breaking up this great country." He was putting on his Captain Canada suit again and trying to look tough in the face of Trump. I get why those people say those things, but they are simply pushing the separatists away. And if you really like to convince the majority of Albertans that Canada wants Alberta, then you got to change your attitudes. For Post Media, I'm Lorne Gunter.